whether it is fornication, it's adultery, it's lying, it's stealing, it's murder, whatever the nature of sin. In love, we should correct people and continuously admonish them.
And even talking about abuse, even some pastors abuse their wives.
I think it is high time we begin to teach them that it isn't just about this woman is beautiful, this man is fine, so that you can point to people, this is my husband.
Exactly.
It takes a lot to be in marriage.
Oral sex has a lot of implications, and one of it is the fact that it is one of the easiest way for the transmission of sexually transmitted diseases.
Trying to get something from somewhere you don't like, you will chop their money, and that money you eat fufu with it can block your womb. There is a woman who is praying, but most of these young girls don't know that they are lying.
You see, so most married men go out there and lie to innocent girls.
That who told you are innocent? These hypocritic girls.
Some of the girls are innocent. Because I know some girls who will tell you that if you are married, forget.
Hello, precious viewers. Thank you so much for being part of the program. This is Weekend Review Show right here on GTV Live, Your Religion and Culture Channel with me, Johnny called Dollarich. Now, Weekend Review, we are 2 years old, and thank you so much for being part, your support, your prayers. Now, we have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Now, on the 7th of August, 8 o'clock sharp, Miracle Temple Assemblies of God. We are meeting there to pray for the family. This is non-denominational. You can just maybe excuse your church for that particular Sunday. Just come with the family. Let's pray and ensure that the beauty God has given the family, we can go back to it. Now, we'll come back shortly after this break, bringing you our topic of the week.
Tell me, what can I do?
This is the moment to join hundreds of families praying to make their relationships, marriages, and homes better through divine grace. Join Weekend Review with Dollarich on GTV Live in redeeming the family glory.
Under an atmosphere of worship and prayer, GTV Live, your religion and culture channel, invites you to come intercede, rebuild, and restore the family glory. The venue is
Miracle Temple Assemblies of God at Chimota near the collapsed Melcom building with Reverend Jonas Yawotete. The date is Sunday, 7th August 2016. Time 8 a.m. sharp. The theme, Keep the Family Alive. Esther chapter 4 verse 16.
Precious one. Evangelist John Lee Dollarich of Weekend Review Show on GTV Live believes you can redeem the family glory through relentless prayer.
Now I decree and I declare that your family will stand, your marriage will stand, your business will stand, your relationship will stand. You will never fail in the name of Jesus.
I can't make it on my own.
You are welcome back. The program is the Weekend Review right on GTV Live, Your Religion and Culture with me, Johnny called Dollarich. Now, I have this precious, wonderful friends, I can call them, on set with me, and on my immediate left is this beautiful woman, Mrs. Doku, and she's the country rep for Go Red Ghana, and she's here with me. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure having you on set.
We are happy. I'm happy to be here.
Wow, I hope you are fine. And the family.
Grace. We are doing great. We're on vacation and a lot of activities.
That's nice. And on my far left is this handsome Osofo, and it's somebody I can easily call a brother because redeeming the family glory. When we started, he was the first man to hold the mantle for us. Osofo, Theophilus Agbeito. Osofo, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Refined Vessels Ministries.
That's right.
Osofo, good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Wow. How are you and the family?
Oh, we are doing great by the grace of God.
I see. Yeah. Now, viewers, we are treating the topic schooling and keeping a relationship. And this is something, a topic that I want you to call somebody, also to call somebody. And we have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just let the comments and the contributions and the questions come in. Now, we are dealing with schooling and keeping a relationship. One of the most difficult things some people are battling with, but we want to see how God can help us go through. Also, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Once again, and Mrs. Doku. Now, let's look at it. I'll start with you. You know, it's kind of fun having relationship, especially on campus, and all that, you know, catch them young and they say whatever and all those stuff, and you know, but let's look at it. There are some people who are actually going through a lot, missing out on their academics because one way or the other they spent all their energy and time, emotions and all that on some ladies or some guys, and at the end of the day there's trouble. But we want to look at the schooling and keeping a relationship. Give me what you can for now, and let's see how best we can handle it.
I would say that life is in stages. And at any particular time in your life, there's one thing you have to be doing. So as a young girl, as a young boy, primary school, you know, JSS, or senior, now it's a senior high.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, junior high. You know, and then you get to the university. There's at any particular time in your life, there's one thing you have to be doing. Around those ages, you're supposed to be doing what? Learning. Okay, so I would say that, let's say now I can go as low as junior high, right?
Exactly.
Because it's happening. In junior high, your main focus is to learn.
That's right.
In senior high, your main focus is to learn, is to know who you are, is to learn what is ahead of you, know your potentials, know the people around you, your environment, and what God has for you in stock for you in this life. So I don't think that that would be the time to enter into a relationship, because it is not time. That is not the time. To what ends are you entering into that relationship?
That's right.
That is one question you have to ask. To what ends are you entering into that relationship? For that moment in your life, you're supposed to be learning, developing yourself. So I think that it is not the best idea to enter into a relationship. Maybe when you come to university, I would say yes. Around that time, even that you want to look at it again. Okay, you want to look at it again. But I think that will be maybe the time where you can. Because by that time, to now, we go to university quite early. So I would say maybe 21, 22, 23. You know, 22. It might not... Now that, you know, we are going to school so early, you would say that 23 would even be a bit too early. But if the person is in university and probably has his future a bit more organized shaping, then you can and then also maturity. How mature that, because relationship comes with a lot of responsibilities.
We'll be coming there. You save your breath. Osabo, you give me your take on it first, and let's see how we can handle it.
Okay, just to add to Mrs. Contribution, I would like to say that, you know, from the age she's mentioned, or from the stages, that is to say junior high and then senior high and all that, I think these stages are for self-discovery.
Okay.
You know, you see, I believe that you first of all need to discover yourself. Now, if you know who you are, then you can, at that age or from that age, try to discover who you need to be with. So it is important that one discovers himself or herself, you know, in these ages. Because you see, if you don't know who you are, what you are made of, then it becomes very difficult for you to choose who you want to be with.
That's right.
It's straight away for me. It's straight, you know, because if you don't know who you are, then anybody at all can come in your life.
That's right.
Everything and anything and anybody or everybody goes. Yes. And I've seen that, you know, especially in a senior high. You know, you I don't know, I don't have the
statistics.
Yes, I don't have it.
Yeah,
but from my experience, most of the people who were in relationship in senior high, after school,
they were nowhere to be found.
Never continue. They never continue because they discovered that, look, we were just playing.
There's a bigger world out there.
Exactly. The world is bigger than, you know, the confines of our school or the compounds of our school. And more especially when they get to university, they are like, man, this is a bigger place.
more.
You know,
deeper waters.
Exactly.
Bigger fishes and all that.
Exactly. Okay. So the other one was just, and what happens, you know, in that period of your SHS, what happens? Okay, so I think that, you know, discover yourself.
Discover.
Yeah, in your GHS, in your SHS, you need to discover yourself. You need to know who you are, your capacity, and your competence level. All of that is discovery, is self-discovery. You need to discover yourself first.
You really need to discover yourself. Now, if you're watching the program, this is the Weekend Review Show right here on GTV Live, Your Religion and Culture channel. Now, we have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected to us. Let's get friendly on this platform. Now, schooling and keeping a relationship. Now, let's look at something. You are sent by a parent to school to study and to see how best the future can hold for you, and you want to keep a relationship around junior high school or senior high school or even the university, when you don't even have your grip on what you really want to do in future. We want to go deeper and see how best we can help our young ones out there to get their act together better. Now, also, let me come back to you. Being a young man on campus, you know, in your teens, youthful age, you know, this exuberance, you really want to be there. You know, your guys, your friends are hot. You know, this is my fiance, this is my girlfriend, you know, this is my date, this is my girl. Everybody want to catch up something, you know, and the more you are into it, the more, you know, you are felt. I mean, you are the guy, you are the, you know, with your uniform, you know, you're all your. But let's look at this. Academics itself comes with responsibility, just as Mrs. Doku was saying, and then relationship has its own responsibilities as well. Now, your parents also have responsibility to oversee that you are going through school. Now you want to also have responsibilities on your own. Let's look at it. Somebody at JHS or SHS, also for, what can you tell such a person if he or she is keeping a relationship for now?
I would say it is illegal.
There you go again. Also,
I mean, that relationship is illegal. You are not qualified to be in any form of relationship. You must not even think about it in the first place, let alone imagine it. Because, I mean, what is the benefit of you getting into that relationship? What are you looking at? It's like you are playing with fire.
That's right.
And fire will burn you. You don't play with fire.
That's right.
The relationship is fire. I'm telling you. even with the mature people who, you know, you can say they are mature in terms of age. Some don't even have the knowledge, because you see, I think that relationship, you need to have some knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you cannot handle any relationship. You cannot handle people. You cannot handle woman.
That's right.
Because a woman created by God is a complex being.
Seriously.
And so you need a certain level of knowledge for you to be able to understand a woman. That is why the Bible said that we should dwell with them in wisdom. So wisdom is a requirement for you to handle a woman.
Wow.
Let's look at, I mean, in the house, your siblings, I mean, your sisters. Look at them carefully. How do you relate to them? These are your own. From the same background, from the same father or mother, or from the same family. What is the relationship like? let alone somebody who is coming from somewhere that you have no idea, you know, the baggage that person is carrying. You understand?
Yeah.
Can you carry it?
It's not easy.
That is what I'm saying. It is illegal.
Illegal. Also, if you hold on to the illegal aspect of it, from the way Mrs. Doku is laughing. But you see, Mrs. Doku, these are kind of things that those days we thought it was, let me use the word fun, you know. He's my boyfriend, especially if he's the school prefect and he's your boyfriend, or if he's the dispensary prefect, or let's say the compound overseer. I mean, those kind of, you know, and all the girls around, you know, kind of envy you when the person is your date or something. But it comes with fun, if you ask me. But the responsibility aspect is what we're looking at. Do we benefit anything from it if you just go out with somebody on campus? I mean,
and I went to an all-girls school too, but right. I remember when in school, I mean, you have male visitors coming on Sunday, and all the girls are going like, hey, whose visitor is it? And all and it was like, he wants to know who this person is visiting. It was kind of fun, but I think that naturally, we as we grow, our minds are developing, the body is developing. And so your body tells you one thing, your mind is telling you another thing. So you think that it is okay. That is where self-control comes in. Because as a growing young man or a growing young woman, your body would react to the things you see. Your senses are active and all that. So you might think that it is right for you to be in a relationship. You want to, and then there's also peer pressure. That's okay, right. This school prefect is nice, he's fine, so, and he's going out with this girl, and so it's okay for me to also. But at that point in time in your life, that is not what you need. As I said earlier, every stage in life have what you have to do. So being in school is just to focus on your education. And so you have to try and focus on that. That doesn't mean that you don't keep, when you say relation, you don't keep a relationship. You have classmates, you have your siblings, you have church members, you have maybe extracurricular activities in school. That is where that energy can be expanded, so that you don't have to focus on one person who probably has his or her own baggage. You don't even understand yourself. You don't understand yourself. He doesn't understand himself, and then you get into, and then you don't understand each other. Right. And then instead of focusing on what can actually shoot you into your future, you spend your time trying to settle little squabbles here and there. Right. And then you know how you see two girls fighting over a guy, the dining hall prefect or something, and then that whole mess. You could have spent that time studying or engaging in other extracurricular activities that would help you. So of course, as a growing young man, young woman, you have a lot of energy. Your senses are active. So you think that is the best way to exert it. The best way you can do is to engage in extracurricular activities. There's basketball, there's football, we used to have AMPE, there's other places where you can exert that energy, so that you can be refreshed enough to focus on what the future your future is about. You're studying the foundation you are laying, because if you lay a very weak foundation in your academics, building upon it becomes very difficult. And relationship takes time. You need to nurture a relationship. You are not ready for that.
Plus your academics.
You are not ready for that.
It's time consuming.
Also, we're talking about time consuming. Let's look at it. Your illegal aspect, I mean, it brings a lot of fun, I mean, laughter into my head. And but you see, I don't know, those days, about 20 years back, I mean, if I remember those things on campus, secondary school days, and I asked myself, I mean, there was some kind of group of people who were involved with some ladies and some guys, and you could see the friction here and there. I mean, this guy is snatching your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and that tension here and there. I mean, you have your books to focus on, but yet you have to fight for your girl or your your boy. And you know, But also, let's look at it. It's kind of interesting though, but let's look at it. I mean, the young ones are out there watching. Comparing, putting the two together, your books and managing a girl or a boy. If a parent is watching right now with the son or the daughter, I don't know what you can tell a parent out there. I mean, what kind of conversation can they have to be able to make sure that the world is actually doing the right thing for now?
Well, I think that parents should befriend their words. For me, I think that is the basics, you know, because you see, if and then parents should speak well of their children. Don't use bad words.
That's right.
You understand? Like unimfi and those kind of words. You see, what you tell your children is an information you are giving to them about themselves. Now, if the child goes out of the house and is now in school, and a certain guy somewhere is saying something different,
you look nice.
You look nice. And she goes like, my mommy,
my daddy never
tells me I look nice. But the guy is saying you're intelligent. Okay, so that child is likely to draw herself or himself to that person because the person is getting some kind of
attention and
attention.
Yeah.
And eventually it end up into something else. You understand what I'm saying? So if we can learn to speak well of our children, you know, give them that kind of self-confidence, then they wouldn't need somebody, you know, to use sugar-coated words to lure them. It's very important.
That's right.
It's very, very important. It's very important that parents, you know, learn to speak well of their children. Tell them, you know, when they wear something, you know, like my small, very small. But each time she's wearing something, I say, you are looking nice. Oh, Daddy, thank you. Then, you know, and then what she will do, 2 years. You understand? I could see that her self-confidence is growing. So each time, you know, she wears something, she will run to me and like, Daddy, look at me. You understand? So right from the word go, you know, she's built up that self-confidence.
That's right.
So she doesn't need somebody somewhere to say you are looking. She knows she's nice.
That's right. It won't take some boy.
To use that kind of words to lure her. You understand? So yes, for me, it starts from the house. What do you say to your children? What is your relationship with them? Is it like a school master and the children? I mean, and the students. Is that the kind of relationship or atmosphere you have in the house? I think it's wrong. It's negative. That cannot be. You have not. Don't be a schoolmaster, please.
Be a parent.
Be a parent. Befriend your child. Let that child be your friend. And I'm telling you, that child will find it difficult. You know, be lured by some. These days is text messages and you know, we don't do the writing of it.
Letterhead. What do you call it? We used to call it something.
Writing pad. The blue writing pad
with those flowers and all those things.
Exactly.
Hats and all this stuff.
Exactly. You know, so I mean, I will urge every parent
to
give that child the self-confidence. You know, speak well of your child.
I see. Now, also, I'll come back to you. If you're watching the program, this is the Weekend Review Show. Now, let your WhatsApp come in via our WhatsApp line, app screen, and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich, and just get connected to us. Let's do the show together. Now, we are dealing with schooling and keeping relationships in school. I mean, you send your child to school to learn, junior high school, senior high school, And even now, even before junior high school, some of these kids sometimes they are all I mean, quite interesting though. But you're expecting your son or your daughter to come out of school with flying colors, at least to merit your kind of inputs, your financial input and all that. But at the end of the day, get disappointed because some gentleman or some lady out there on campus took the attention of your son or your daughter and things didn't go well. Let's go to Mrs. Doku. I have a question for you. You know, like Osofu is saying, when you're on campus and depending on what the background, I mean, where the background you're coming from and all that, you know, your makeup, your parents, the association they have with you, the bond and all that. Sometimes if you don't get that affection, you're on campus and some guy come in and it's like, oh, Rose, you are this, and Abena, I like, you know, this, you are, you know, that kind of a thing, and you are one closer to the person. Let's look at it. If a young girl is out there and is keeping a relationship on campus because she finds solace in a guy and she feels this is somebody who understands me, okay, can she do a right back and maybe go to the parent? Or because if the parents are not drawing you to themselves, can you also make a move to your parents, like this is what you lack, you're not getting this affection? Can children also go to their parents and make sure they can get better bonding with them?
I would say yes, because if you think there's an authority that you need in your life, you need the authority of your parents.
That's right.
And you think that maybe your parents are and they are not giving you that, and you think that is what you need. It's not a bad thing to ask. You can nicely go to and say, Daddy, can I talk to you?
That's right.
And I'm sure if that is the first time, he would startle a little bit and like, okay, what he might, if he's a busy person, he might say, I'm busy, I want to, but you have to go on. Maybe, but for mothers, most of the time, if you maybe approach your mother first, and you say, Mommy, can I talk to you? My kids do that. Sometimes they catch you and Mommy, can we talk? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. You know them. And then it means that there's something that is bugging her or him. So I just have to listen. So I think there's nothing wrong with going to your father or mother and say, there's something that that is bothering me. Can we talk about it? I think even if you do that, you draw your parents' attention to what they are not doing. And then it can start the relationship and the bonding from there. So for as a child, you also can go to your parents. And I'm pleading with parents to have time for the kids. Now, parents are busy with making money and being out there and all that. And we are neglecting our future. Let's have time for the parents. Because if as Osofo said, if you are telling your daughter that she's beautiful, you look good in that dress, okay, and one time you tell her that I think this dress is not on point, she will take it.
That's right.
But if you never say anything to her, she doesn't know what. And then maybe the day she wears that dress that is not too appealing, and then some guy says, "Ooh, you look nice in that dress," she would hold on to it because that's what. I mean, everybody wants to feel good,
right.
So she will hold on to it. So by the time she gets home or you see her and say, "No, this dress is like no, somebody's already told me that it's looking good on me. So why are you now saying it?" But if you're always telling her, "I think this is good. You look like you look like a lawyer. You look like a gentleman. It's good." The next time it's like, this tie is not too good. And if the guy is saying that, oh, you look nice in that short dress, you're like, but my mom said, and he always appreciates, my dad always appreciates what I wear. And this one, he mentioned that it was not when you are saying, then he or she will start judging that, look, is this boy really for good? Is he into the right things? You start, as a developing, you start thinking, because around that age, that's where you're able to judge between, you're developing your judgment. That's right. what is good, what is bad, what can I do. So as parents, we have
lying to me and all that.
We have a responsibility.
That's right.
If we're able to bond with our children, we're able to have a conversation with them. Sometimes they come back from school and it's like, hey, did anything interesting happen in school today? Yeah. And then it starts the conversation. They tell you, oh, you know, sometimes the kids will tell you, I think that this person likes this person. And they tell you. And I'm like, oh, okay, do you think that is at this age, do you think that is oh no, I don't think so. This is so you're able to tell what the child is thinking, what your bond with. I remember my father used to always tell us that I come from, there are 6 of us, 4 girls and 2, and he always tell you, look, when you see the guys sitting at the gate of a house and they are chit-chatting and they are not really saying anything out of this world, they're only admiring you. And they're only probably devising a plan of how to get close and things like that. That's all they are doing. But he always says that from 16 years to, let's say, about 21, 20, you're at your prime. That's right. You're looking very beautiful. All the things are in the right places. So you are like, a very nice apple on the tree. Any man would want to have you. So he used to tell us that a lot. So around that age, I mean, because we used to have that conversation with him, that is not when. So by the time you are saying that, oh, you're looking beautiful, my father's already told me, and I know what you're thinking. Exactly. So you're not. If I want to be in a relationship, I want to be in a relationship because I know what I want out of that relationship. I know what I can offer, but not because you are, flattering me with nice words and all that. Whilst at that stage in my life, I'm supposed to be concentrating on my future, on what I'm supposed to study, what I'm supposed to do for the future. So we need to, as parents, we need to befriend our children, and then be able to tell. Once we befriend them, we'll be able to tell what they are experiencing, and then redirect their thinking onto the right things.
Now, talking about this parents getting involved with their kids, also let's look at this. There are some parents that, let's take a child from JHS, from JHS 1 to JHS 3. The parents only get involved when the son or daughter is about to write the exams to move to the next stage of academic, which is senior high school. They never cross-check the academic books. They don't even know the books the children are reading. They don't get involved. And sometimes these same children that you are not even getting involved with the academics, you don't even know their homeworks and all those stuff. And yet, at the end of the day, they are also involved with certain girls or certain boys on campus, and they are doing their own thing. Now, the danger is where parents are not getting involved, knowing the weakness and the strength of the child's academics. How best can we help as parents in order to be able to say, if your child probably was average at JHS 1, you can push him or her to another stage? How can we handle that?
I think it's very simple. I think the two of us we've talked about that a lot here. I think basically we need to know our children. You see, we need to know, because the fact that you've given birth to a child does not mean you know the child.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't know. You see, some parents don't know their children, what they are capable of doing.
Also, this is deep.
They don't know. So sometimes they are taken aback when they hear, their child say, maybe AC or Ajo or somebody has done this. They're like, what? No. You don't know your child. It's because he's not your friend. Yes. Or she's not your friend. You can only know the person when you have that kind of, relationship, friendship. That is the only way you can know somebody. Like she said, they are thinking. Because at that age, their minds are clouded.
So many.
Yes, with so many things, so many experiences. And they want to experience things. They want to virtually practicalize things. what they are hearing and what they are seeing and what they are watching, whatever it is. They want to have a feel of it. But if you don't know the child, how do you redirect the emotions of a child? How do you redirect their thinking? You can't. So we need to know our children, and the only way we can know them is to befriend them. Now, if you know your child, you know the child's ability, his or her endowment, that which God has given to him, the innate ability. You know it, that she or he can do this, she can do that. So you don't force her to do this. You know their temperament. And I believe that abilities are given according to temperaments. What God thinks that your makeup can handle, that is what he gives you.
That's right.
And so it goes, in the same direction. If you are choosing a career and all of that, it's also temperamental. Okay, so it's important, we know our children and understand them. Like she's saying, the father has severally told them, hey, so there's nothing new.
It's no news.
It's no news.
Yes.
When you come around, she already know you have two things in mind.
Which we are coming on. If you're watching the program, this is the Weekend Review Show, and we are discussing schooling and keeping a relationship. Now, also for talking about these two things in mind, Mrs. Doku, let's look at this. Some will say benefits, and some will say I don't know, but the kind of incentives or whatever you get from whatever. Keeping relationship on campus. If a guy gets close to you, let's say at JHS or SHS, the university campuses, let's say, fine, you are maturing, you are getting to some stage, because at 24 or something, you want to become an adult in a way.
Even some of them at that level are not yet mature.
That is also another thing altogether. So let's look at it. Why is the guy getting close to me? What does he want? Why is this lady being so nice? What does she want? That's the kind of questions we have to ask. Yes, now, why do you think the guy wants to get close to you, or the lady? Or
as I said earlier, you're growing. We have at that age, your bodies are growing. The girl is developing in all the right places. The guy is also developing. Your senses are alert. Okay. Now, maybe out of them, from the environment he or she grew up from, the guy might have seen something, might have heard something, might have experienced, or maybe not experienced, but might have seen certain things. Okay, seen mom and dad, seen Uncle Jeffrey and Josephine. So it's like, okay, I'm a guy, I'm growing, I have these feelings in my body. Maybe I should also, and maybe he sees a female colleague or a female classmate, and he's like, oh, this girl is, it's not bad to admire this girl is beautiful. I wish she could be my wife, and it starts from maybe from what he's, from the onset, he's not really looking at going to sleep or have sex with this girl, but he's only admiring what God has created, which is very natural. But if this boy has been brought up well, or has been talked to and knows what he's about, he would understand that at this point in my life, that is not what I need. Yes, you can befriend somebody and say, oh, you look beautiful, I want to be your friend. We could be steady partners. We could be And there are some friendships that grow like that, and probably do not even end in marriage, but they are very close friends. They are very close friends. They help each other. It is not bad. But where this person is coming and thinking, okay, because I'm feeling these things in my body, so I need somebody to experiment with, then we have a problem.
And that is where the issue is.
That is where the problem is. Then there's a problem, because as you're experimenting, there's so many things that can come out of it. You can have unwanted pregnancies. on safe sex, on an unprepared child, because out of you can have a child that you're not prepared for. Your studies is going to suffer.
You drop out.
You might drop out of school. Your studies is going to suffer. Why would your studies suffer? Someone said about being in a relationship with somebody. Why would my studies? You need time to nurture a relationship. This person is coming from a different background. You're also coming from a different background. You have different understanding. One thing that you do that you think is okay might not be okay with the person. You need to settle that. By the time you are sitting there and talking about, and then of course when these two hands rub for a long time, it generates heat.
That's right.
So by the time negative and positive, male and female, rubbing together, being together, you generate the heat. And is that what you want at that point in your life? So your mind, instead of your mind being in a certain place where you can focus on your stuff, because it's very absorbing to be learning, to be studying. You need to put your mind in a certain point so that you can really absorb what you're learning. And then you have, some squabbles with this girl or this boy, and it's lingering on, and you can't think straight. How many times haven't we seen people who do very well in class, they get themselves entangled in a relationship, and then before you know, they are dropping, they are sinking down because they don't have time. Now this boy or girl is calling you, let's go and do this, let's go and be here, and you don't have time for your books anymore. So it comes with relationship in itself comes with responsibilities. You need to nurture it. You need to be there for this person when the person have problems. And one thing that it would do is that instead of trusting in your parents, because look, you're under the authority of your parents.
That's right.
Instead of trusting in your parents, now you are moving away from trusting in your parents into this person who might not even be feeding you with the right information. So before you know, you've even broken the relationship that you have, the trust that you have between you and your parents is because I'm sure if your parents get to know about it, they would advise you against it, and you might not want to heed to that advice, so then you have a problem there. Meanwhile, your parents are the one paying your fees. You still live under their roof. Okay, you are not in a position to be in a relationship. Relationships are for matured people who can put food on their table, people who can do their own things, people who can say, look, this is what I want out of my life and this is what I can do. But at that point in life, your fees is being paid for. Virtually your clothes are being bought. Everything that you've ever owned is being paid for by somebody. How responsible are you to also take on somebody else's responsibility?
That brings me to the next question, which I will let us off with that. Right. Now, sometimes you go to some of these campuses, even junior high school, senior high school, and also you virtually see a guy who is also, the parent took him to school to take care of him, yet he's also taking care of
somebody else.
You're watching this program. This is the Weekend Review Show right here on GTV Live, Your Religion and Culture Channel. Now, we have our WhatsApp line app screen and our Facebook page, Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected to us. Let's have the show together. Now, also
you know what? It's not only is it that your education suffers, but you realize that you even start forming some habits that you would not have thought of. Now this girl might be saying, oh, I need this, I want this. You don't have it. So you see your mom's handkerchief, then you think, oh, let me just grab this and give it to this girl. Because you don't have it. You are not even working. You are not responsible enough. So you before you know, you are preferring here and there to satisfy.
Yeah. And she's the finest girl on campus, so you really want to.
Also forgive me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know, she said something that is very, very, very important, and I think we need to emphasize the fact that you see, getting attracted to an opposite sex is a natural tendency, and that's not what we are talking about. Okay, you know, you can be attracted to an opposite sex, but that should have a certain limitation. You have to set boundaries.
That's right.
You understand? If you are in GSS, you are in senior high, even at the university level, set boundaries.
That's right.
Okay, if you have an opposite sex as your friend, set boundaries. Otherwise, if there's no boundary, then it means it's a free range.
Yeah.
You understand?
And that can be serious.
And that can be dangerous. That can be very dangerous. You know, so it's important that you set boundaries. Fine. I mean, in GSS, you have somebody who is very brilliant. Maybe is a female, but she's very good, and you think that no, let me befriend this lady. It's okay
for academic purposes.
For academic purposes, it's okay because you want to tap into her knowledge or her wisdom, whatever it is that you are looking for. It's good. You understand? So that you need to befriend somebody who is at least ahead of you,
can pull you
along. There's nothing wrong with that. You are in studies together and all of that. There is nothing wrong with that. Have boundaries.
That's right.
Don't move beyond certain boundaries. You don't cross certain lines. Like he's saying, if you rub for some time,
the heat
will
that
hit. You understand?
Yeah. And these boundaries that he said, I think that the onus lies on parents to set the boundaries for them. So what you can do is, okay, you can talk to your children. So who are your friends in class?
That's right.
Who do you talk to them, you get this. My dad did something. When I was, I think, 18, my 18th birthday, he threw a party. It wasn't anything, we had drinks, it wasn't anything elaborate, but he threw a party. And later on, I got to understand that he wanted to know who my friends were. So he said, invite your friends to this birthday party. So I went, so it's like, so we started talking, and I realized that he just wanted to know the kind of people I was.
You mingle with. That's right.
So sometimes you throw parties for your kids. Don't throw parties for throwing parties' sake. Throw parties or do a gathering or do something. Let them invite their friends home. You will know as they are chatting and you are sitting somewhere. You are not really, but you are listening. You have to be careful. You are listening. You are listening to the kind of conversations they are having. So that you can pick on some of these things and then you can slowly correct some of these mistakes, or you can slowly advise what should be done. And so because if you don't do that, you won't know, because the peer pressure is also a key thing, because somebody else is doing it. It's okay, I cannot, so that you can tell your child that, look, okay, maybe this person is doing it, but that doesn't mean it is not right. It is not time yet. Yes, I expect you, I want to hold you, walk you down the aisle, I want to do this, I want to do. There's a time for everything. Exactly. This is not the time. So let's hold on and then develop. So tell your children, I see you growing into a nice gentleman, a responsible man who somebody can call a husband. And these are chats you have, and then they'll laugh about it, but hey, they are realities that you need to bring up.
Also, let's go back to this, my issue of you being catered for, and you also taking care of somebody on campus. Because I heard of a story, I didn't believe it, but apparently it was very true, of a young guy who was taking care of a girl on campus. And because this is senior high school, she was doing almost everything. By the grace of God, he's coming from not too well-to-do home, though, but he feels he was there. The parents are taking care of him, and he was also taking care of a girl. And other guys were getting involved with this girl in question, and it brought a mayhem, because he didn't see why he has to sponsor, do all these things for this girl, and somebody else want to cross path.
Friction. I think that you see, look. I'm thinking of how to start it. You see, the point is that in the first place, if you can't take care of yourself, you are not qualified to take care of somebody else. Otherwise, you become a thief. you can easily become a thief. You can easily become a liar.
Wow.
These two things. Easy. You lie to get something because you want to give it to somebody. Now, in your own eye, you think that you are doing good. But it is wrong in the first place. You don't need to steal or lie to go and be a blessing or something to somebody. What you are presenting is a curse.
Wow.
Because the source is not a blessed source. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. So you are not qualified.
You don't stand.
You are not qualified at all.
It's an illegal thing.
You don't have to. You don't have to do it because you are putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. Unnecessary pressure. You don't need that pressure for your blood pressure to go up. You'll be falling sick in and out. They are asking you what is wrong. And meanwhile, is that lady who is hurting you
from junior high school?
Yes, is that lady or that guy who is hurting you?
Made an investment.
Exactly. You understand? Because you see, you are making a wrong investment. Can I say illegal? Illegal investment. Yes, because how sure are you that that person will forever be with you?
That's right.
You are not sure. You see, and don't think that you don't marry out of sympathy or you are going in because of sympathy. She's from poor home and all of that. Just help the person
if you can.
If you can, help. Do God's work. Help the person, but don't use that one as a way of getting the person.
Tying the person down. Because even grown-ups are doing it. It's not easy for them. It's not helping at all.
You understand? Somebody, some big man somewhere, you're looking at a university girl,
tie her down with
your whatever. Please don't try it. Don't try it because you may get a broken heart. And it may lead to death. Because people kill out of that. I've made an investment for somebody. No. You will die.
You will die. This serious.
You will die and I'll also die. Or you die, I'll run away.
That brings to mind that, I think that for a growing person, let's say when you are 18, the kind of things you admire in an 80-year-old girl, the kind of things you admire in a young man will not be the same when you are, let's say, 22.
Or 25.
Okay, or when you're 25.
Right.
It changes.
Yeah.
The things you see in the opposite sex, as you grow, changes.
That's right.
So what you think maybe at 18, you think that, he has muscles, he's good, he's fine. By the time you're 22, it has shifted to something else. It's not, you're not looking at the man, you're not looking at, by the time you're 26 or 24, it's like, no, you really need, you want to see what is up here, you want to see what's, so it changes. So if you start very early and you say, okay, this is my, what they say, high school sweetheart. But, and then you find, okay, now you're tied to this person. And by the time you're 22, you realize that no, what I want in a man is not in this man. But because you think you've made a promise or you have to keep this guy, you might even end up getting married. And he or she might not be the person that you really, really want. You didn't get the opportunity to, I don't say explore, but to look around, because there's so many people in the world. Right. There's so many characters, there's so many things. So as you're developing, things change. And okay, I admire this as at 18, I admire this in this person. So let's just it's fine. But by the time you're 22, it's gone up a little bit, or you're seeing more things. Something has changed because you're maturing.
Right. And your level of knowledge is increased.
So you want to, okay, now look, if you really need somebody to be a life partner, you want to look out for A, B, C, D.
That's right.
At that age, 18, the person is also maybe 18 as you're 19. What can you take out? What can you really take of this person? So let's be patient with ourselves, and let's channel our energy into. So I think I would advise young ones out there. Let's channel our energies into other things. There's church activities, there's school activities, basketball, different things. Let's channel our energies into that so that we can build a better future for ourselves.
Good. Also,
yeah.
Let me ask this question. If I'm keeping a relationship on campus, let's say senior high school or junior high school, and let's say I love this person. You know, we talk about love. I mean, that is how the person feels.
Which at that level you don't even understand. Seriously, you don't really understand.
And sometimes I wonder whether they understand or not. But that's the feel they have. How do we manage this with parents' help? If you see your son or your daughter so close and is emotionally attached to somebody at that level, where do you come in? How do you manage it so that, this friction? Because sometimes you have your daughter leave campus, come home, because she's brokenhearted.
Yeah.
And she wants solace, she wants comfort from parents. And sometimes you don't even have an idea what exactly the person has gone through. How do we manage this? So the way
I think that you need to talk to your daughter and tell her, look, don't let this boy break your heart. In the first place, it was even wrong for you to get into
point
that.
one is wrong.
Yes. It was wrong for you to get into that in the first place. So please, disengage your emotions. Disengage. Because look at what it has done to you. This boy that you think that, is your best friend, is whatever that you think about that person. Listen to me. Maybe the beautiful ones are not yet born, or the handsome one until. I mean, you are yet to meet people,
to discover more,
people along the way. As you are growing, you come in contact with people, and you are like, Can I tell you something? I have some pastor friends who tell me, sometimes it's like you're worrying them. And I know why they are saying that. Yes.
They are discovering.
Because you see, it's like, look, if I had waited a little, maybe, I would have.
Like
you understand?
The Chinese proverb will say, the very day you get married, you find 7 more beautiful.
Yes. Yes. You understand? So I think that you just need to advise your daughter. You are not qualified.
At that stage?
At that stage, you are not qualified. Focus on your books. And like she's saying, get yourself involved in some extra activities that will take away all these emotions that, are bottled up in you and you want to do something with it. No. Like, just let them know that, look, emotions come and go. They are not permanent. So don't let this one be permanent.
Wow.
To hurt you, to destroy you, to make you feel bitter or make you bitter towards, people. No. Get rid of this.
Get rid of it.
Otherwise, it will destroy you. You need to just talk the person out of that, what do you call it, emotions. Because it's emotional. And what they call, actually at that level, what they call love is actually emotions. Because it's like you are growing, and at that stage, there is this thing in you that is kind of
always yearning,
looking at some lady or some man somewhere, and because it's not guided and it's misplaced, they call it love.
Which
you understand what I'm trying to say?
Which has nothing to do with it at all.
Which has nothing to do with love. So what they are calling love is actually misplaced emotions. That is looking for a place to land. You understand? Yes. And sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time it doesn't land well. And if you don't land well, sometimes you get your leg broken.
Injuries.
So emotionally, there are some people.
You don't have good standing.
They are broken.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes. So it is important that at that level, like Mrs. Doku is saying, we have to direct their emotions. Tell them, look, at this your age, you are a teenager now. You will feel something for the opposite sex. That does not mean you have to go and do anything. No, it is natural. You have to control it.
That's right. That's right.
Get yourself involved in something else. Don't direct it towards somebody. No, that person is a pearl. That person may destroy it, and you may never recover from it.
You may never recover.
Yes.
May God have mercy on us. Now, on a quick one in about a minute or two, let's see. You wanted to say something. Yeah.
I'll say that as this child, as this girl has been heartbroken and everything, I'm sure she might have learned some lessons herself. So you want to throw it back. So what, with all this experience, what do you think? You tell me what you're thinking. Get it out of her.
Is
so
it worth
so that she can correct her own mistakes. So as you're advising, and so she realized that, look, even from this experience, mom is right, dad is right. I need to refocus my attention. It didn't land me anywhere. So it might not even be, I mean, the experience is the best teacher. It might not even be from what you are telling her to do, but from what she has experienced, she would learn. And then with your guidance, she would learn that, look, I need to stay away from it. And then you pray for her. That's.
I want to add one quick one.
Yeah.
Maybe you are watching, you are maybe, in one of these campuses. I'm talking about tertiary level now. And, it's like you've dated like 3 or 4 already.
Even more.
Please, take your time.
Slow down.
Give yourself a break. Please, give yourself a break. It's not at all costs that you have to have somebody. If I don't grab the person now, I may not grab.
I'll be late.
Please, don't destroy yourself.
Your future.
Please. Number 2, you have to have some knowledge. I'm not talking about the books you are reading, but I'm talking about, knowledge of people. It's important. Because, if you don't have that knowledge, because people don't have knowledge about relationship, they mess up. They give their heart to wrong people.
And they mess them
up. Yes. So it's important, especially if you are a man, try to know something about women. If you are a woman, try to know something about men. So that when a man is talking, you can discern to know that this guy is not correct. This guy is correct. Oh, this guy is okay. Yeah, it's important because if you don't have that knowledge to be able to discern, I'm telling you, somebody will crush your heart.
And sometimes you cannot even recover.
You can't recover. You can't put the pieces together.
And when the time is up for you to enter into the right relationship, then you kind of
yes.
May God have
so
mercy.
Please, let's have knowledge of people. It's important. If you're a man, have knowledge about women. Have knowledge about women. Try. Yes. Try to have some conversation with your mother, and you will get to know who a woman is. Try to have a conversation about a man that is your father. About you will get to know. So if the guy is not correct, by the time the guy finish speaking, we're taking him.
You know all the tricks.
You know
all the.
You mark the person.
You can easily tell he's coming in for just as an open.
Exactly, because you see, the reason why they are not able to discern is because they don't have any knowledge for them to give them a certain standard as to what they are getting from this person or what they are hearing. It's very important. Please.
Also, our time is fast gone, and I want to say a big thank you for passing through. God bless you so much. And Mrs. Doku, thank you so much for coming. And viewers, this is how far we've come with the show. It's quite unfortunate our time is far gone. But on the 7th, we are having our Redeeming the Family Glory at Miracle Temple, Assemblies of God Church, near the old Mecom collapsed building around Achimota. So just join us, 8 o'clock a.m. and let's pray for the family. I mean, I do believe in prayer. Sometimes people make a whole argument about prayer that you pray. Listen, I mean, where everything ceases, prayer should take you through. That's one I believe. I mean, sometimes we talk, we make all the noise, you fight at home, and you are doing all that. You talk. Things are still the same. Let God come in and you see the difference. I trust that you join us. We have our WhatsApp line up screen and our Facebook page. Weekend Review with Dollarich. Just get connected to us. We'll see you same time next week. But a big thank you to my production team. You've been wonderful today. It's been difficult and challenging, but thank you for pulling through for us today. We'll see you same time next week.
Jami kwaya memfaso adufwe jami kwaya memfaso